Hello, Disney fans. Pretty much anyone who follows anything to do with Disney has heard by now that Mickey is in the public domain. Now, this has set off kind of a panic effect across social media. People thinking that it means, Disney won't be ever making another Mickey cartoon. You won't find Mickey at the Disney parks anymore. No, that's not what this means. So, let's first of all get this straight. What exactly does it mean that Mickey is now public domain?
As basically the public domain is a blanket term used to describe a type of copyright no man's land, where creative works of any kind, be it Shakespearean plays, Beethoven symphonies, or Dickensian characters like Ebenezer Scrooge, that no longer have intellectual property right protection, will therefore be automatically entered into the public domain.
So, in other words, this is something that happens to characters. It's just what happens after a certain amount of time. And when you think of all of the characters that are in public domain, Shakespeare works, Dickens works, think of how popular those characters are. So this certainly doesn't mean we're never going to see any more Mickey Mouse. It doesn't even mean that Disney can't use Mickey anytime they want to. It simply means that anybody can use Mickey. And there are certain restrictions with that I'm going to get into very shortly. But as you can see, it's not the end of the world for Mickey. And this is something that happens after a certain amount of time anyway with any character. It should have happened years ago, in fact, but Disney even got an extension on that.
Until Disney, with other groups, got Congress to pass extensions. But the last of them expires at midnight on New Year's Eve.
There were a lot of rumors going around that losing the copyright to Mickey meant Disney's going broke. No. This is a legal thing that it wouldn't matter how much or how little money they had. They simply could not legally stop this. Their extensions were up. Copyright is over. But this is a good thing in a way. As Lawrence Lethig, who is an expert on copyright, points out, Disney has always used works that were in public domain themselves. So really, this is nothing new.
That we will be able to do to the great works of Disney what Disney did to the great works of the public domain before him. And that's how creativity is supposed to happen.
More recently, Disney has started to come up with original plot lines. But look at the stories that they started out with originally. Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, all classic fairy tales that were public domain. Even more modern ones like The Lion King. The Lion King is basically Hamlet with animals. So, this is nothing that Disney hasn't always done themselves. And think of how many great ways they spun these classic stories. Potentially, somebody could do this with Disney's works, with Mickey. However, this could mean some really horrible adaptations as well.
The public domain is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
A case in point, Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh.
He walked out of the 100-acre wood and into the public domain 2 years ago, when the original literary work lost its protection. And that led to this. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, a critically panned, low-budget slasher film where the beloved characters go on a murderous rampage.
Yikes. Let's hope nobody ever makes Mickey into a slasher film. But there is a little bit of a buffer to that. Nobody's going to use the version of Mickey that most of us know and love. It's only the Steamboat Willie version that's in public domain.
Starting on Monday, anyone has the legal right to use Mickey and Minnie Mouse in new creative works like books and films. But there's an important caveat. It has to be the Steamboat Willie versions, not the more familiar renditions of the characters that followed.
So, let's do a quick recap here. What does Mickey falling into public domain actually mean? It doesn't mean Disney can't ever use Mickey again. It doesn't even mean they can't use the Steamboat Willie version again. It means that anybody who wants to can use the Steamboat Willie version of Mickey. This could lead to some really cool things. Who knows what awesome books and TV shows that could be used for. It might mean that version of the character is never used. At worst, we get some really horrible versions that we could just choose not to watch if we don't want to. But it doesn't mean that Disney can't use Mickey anymore. It doesn't mean we're never going to see Mickey in any cartoon again. It doesn't mean we won't see him at the parks. Mickey is always going to be a part of Disney. So we can just relax. This doesn't mean the end of the world for either Mickey or Disney. We can continue to enjoy, hopefully, a lot of future incarnations of Mickey, and who knows, maybe some really amazing creative works that use the public domain version now. Think of all the great characters that are public domain that we get to see really amazing versions of. The Shakespeare characters written by Charles Dickens, Sherlock Holmes. There are a lot of really great public domain characters that we really enjoy modern interpretations of, and that could be the case for Steamboat Willie. We can continue to look forward to a great future for Mickey, look back on all Mickey has been for us, and until next time, remember the magic.